Yeah, welcome everyone to another podcast from AC Milan Fans Club Nigeria. We have Duke, Landon, and myself, Santi, in the house today once again. Welcome, Duke. Welcome, Landon.
Hi,
Good evening,
Santiago.
everyone.
I'm pleased to be here today.
Honestly, same with me too. Same with me. I'm looking forward to this podcast. I have so much to say. It's good to
So, as Milan have dropped points in the last 7 days, what do we have to say about those games against lowly rated Pisa and Atalanta? Milan getting a 2-2 draw against Pisa and a 1-1 draw against Atalanta. Also with the likes of injuries to key players like Adrian Rabiot and Pulisic in those times. So, Landon, what do you think about the month of October generally for Milan? Drop points in those two games.
yeah. Thank you so very much. So let me start by saying I think the major reason why a lot of us are raising alarms or we are feeling concerned is because we drop points against low teams. I think Pisa and one other team. I'm trying to remember the team prior to Atlanta or so. 1-1 draw away to Atlanta. It's not a bad result if you look at it. If we had won matches like Pisa, I'm trying to. There's another small team again that I know
Romanis.
we struggled. Cremonis exactly. So if we had gotten our six maximum points, and we are getting a 1-1 to Atlanta, trust me, that's a very good result for us, and that's exactly what you would even need for you to be able to push for a title challenge yourself. But where the concern is coming from, you are getting a draw against Pisa and you're not getting a win against Atlanta. Now that's a call for concern. Honestly, I have so much to say as regards these injuries and all, but I'll so that I don't take so much of the time. I'm just concerned. Are we saying that where we are, after spending so much money, we can't function without if we don't have two or three players in the team? It's something that genuinely worries me as a Milan fan. Like, are we saying if you take out two of those guys or two or three players, we can't beat likes of Cremonis and Pisa? Do you understand? It's something of genuine concern. So that's for me. But the result against Atlanta, it's not a bad result. Let's be honest with ourselves. The problem is getting a draw against Cremonese and Pisa. That's it. Thank
Thanks so much for your contribution. Duke, over to you. What do you think about the recent draws and drop points in the last games?
Yeah. So for me, I think that's first and first, the major thing and the most important thing for us at this particular point in the season is to stay close to the top positions. There is no time ever in the history of football that a team has won the league or at match day 9. So even if we're topping the table as of now, we still have the work in front of us to do. So the most important thing for us to do as of now
you.
is to stay in touch with the top of the table. We've suffered a lot of
Mhm.
unfortunate injuries, and I think that when some fans ask some questions about this team, I think that we also do not put a lot of things into perspective. So the first perspective is that our most expensive signing to start with, that was supposed to be our key guy in midfield, has not even kicked the ball this season in Jashai, which was an important signing for us.
Sorry,
That's
please,
not
who is that?
Jashai, not
Okay.
even kicked the ball at all this season.
Yeah, I remember
We
that.
have injuries
Mhm.
to players like Alpinian, we have injuries to Christian Pulisic, we have injuries to even Leao just came back not fully fit. We have injuries to even Nkuku not fully fit. We barely even have players that are operating at full capacity or at maximum capacity out of the ones that are even that are even starting as of now. So I think so far the team has done a wonderful job. But then one thing that we need to understand is that for every working system, there are key players. There are key players that you need them to stay fit to make a system work. Last I will give an example for last season. As good as Barcelona was last season, Lami Yama was out injured in February. I think January, February of last season. Barcelona struggled to get wins in that period, even without good Rafinha, Lewandowski, and the likes were, because there are some players that are very important to your team that you need them to function for your team to function. And when somebody else comes in, it's just not the same, right? So, for example, we are saying that a Christian Pulisic is injured. The replacement is who? You want to look at Mkoko, not fully fit. You want to look at Santiago Jimenez, who is completely out of form or lacking confidence fully. And then one thing that we need to look at is that for a team that is playing the way Milan is playing, we need an attacker, at least one attacker that is able to stay on the ball, that is decent on the ball, that is able to connect the midfield and the attack together, which is something Pulisic was doing excellently before he got injured. So not only about the goals that Pulisic was scoring, right? Before he got injured, he had 8 goals and assists, out of which 5 of them were goals, 3 were assists. Now, one important point to note, aside from the assists that were converted from Pulisic's effort, there were several other chances that was created by Pulisic that were not converted. I can remember 2 or 3 top of my head from Jimenez only, right? So it's very important for you to have that attacker that is able to connect the midfield and the attack in this regard. So while I think that the injuries have been very unfair to us, another important point that I have also pointed out on this podcast, in the earlier podcast, is the importance of Rabiot in this team. So when the going was good, everybody talked about how magnificent Modric was and everything. And I pointed out on this podcast that the reason why this formation is functional, why the formation is running, is because of Rabiot. He's the only guy in that team that is able to cover every single blade of grass, do the dirty job, and still bump forward. Without Rabiot, we are not able to connect, transition the midfield and to the attack. And we also do not have a Pulisic that can also drop down deep to transition the ball from the midfield to the attack. So we have a very key problem in the sense that we have 2 major key players that are important to the way that we play that are not presently available. What has that meant for Milan? We have played 5 games, we have only won 2, and we have drawn 3. Out of those 5 games that we have played, we've won 2, we drew 2. The 2 that we've drawn, we played against Juventus and Atalanta, which are obviously direct rivals, and we played away from home in both games. Drawing against Juventus and Atalanta away from home is not a bad result. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's not a bad result for a team that wants to win this Scudetto. The only let's down here is the what's called is the drop point at Pisa or to Pisa at the San Siro, right? So for me, I feel like we got off to a blistering start. All right, we have been hampered by injuries. We have slowed down in results, but we can see why we have slowed down in results. So it's not like as if everybody is fit, fully functional, and the result is just not coming. We can see why the result is just not coming. So that gives me hope that the moment we're able to fix some pieces of the team back, we will definitely go back to firing. And let's also note that out of 9 games, we are one of the teams that has faced the most difficult teams in our first 9 games of the season. And the ones that we have dropped points against, that we have lost against, are not even the ones that are most difficult. We have played against Juventus now. We have played against Atalanta now. We played against Fiorentina. We are going to be playing against Roma. We're going to be playing against Roma this weekend to complete our first 10 games, which is 4 serious teams that can actually hurt you, right, in the league. After that, we have only Juventus. After that, we have only Inter Milan. Then we have to play a series of games that are completely winnable when we have our full squad available. So for me, I think it's just a case of staying close to the top positions and then just being able to go on the street on a very good run of results when everybody is back after international break. To be honest, for me, there's no cause for alarm yet.
Sorry, I want to take a cue from what. Sorry, Santiago, just a minute. Now, I want to take a cue from what Duke just said. We also need to look at it from another side. If we are starting with this run of matches, it definitely means those are the run of matches we would be playing come end of season. I don't know if that's anybody's
Not
taking over, because
necessarily.
now that you are saying that's how it's supposed to be, correct? So if you start this, if it's like this team you've started playing, when it's getting to the end of the season, those are the team you would play. So it means whatever we are doing come end of the season, we have to start. I'm just saying that has always been my own understanding. We have to start tightening it up
That's not how it
before you
works.
get to the. No, I thought that's how it's supposed to work. But
It's the
okay, so
champions.
that's aside. Now, I also have a problem that I need to point out. Good analysis Duke has made and all that, but I still feel that even with the players we are starting, them honestly, whether I like it or not, we have some terrible footballers, and I don't start mentioning names that are actually playing. I feel like even with the players that are starting, one of the things we've not been able to do well, and those players should have those qualities, is even having common sense to be able to hold on to possession of the ball. Trust me, it's something that is killing me and is driving me crazy. Like, you can't have a player called Fofana, and Fofana cannot even hold on to the ball for more than 2 to 3 seconds without losing the ball or placing a pass. I don't understand why we need a Rabiot for that. Like, why does a Rabiot have to play before we are unable to hold the ball? Like, sincerely, I can't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I remember saying this thing in one of the podcasts. I can't remember the match when everybody were. I said like, yeah, we're playing well, but we're sustaining a lot of pressure from the opposite. And Duke was defending. I'm like, yeah, I can understand that teams are going to attack you, but the truth is that if you hold on to the ball for quite some time, right, it will reduce the amount of pressure that you get from the other team. And the reason why we are getting a lot of pressure from our opposing team is because we can't even hold on to the ball and we can't even move the ball around. This is something that should be a concern to every Milan fan. I'm not disputing that we miss Rabiot and it's very fundamental to how we play and all that. But are we saying players like Fofana and Co cannot still at least do one or two basics of footballing, or I don't even know the English to do, in the absence of Rabiot? Like, something is fundamentally wrong, and we need to be able to tell ourselves the truth. These
Can
guys
I
will not
can I
always be fit
say can I say something?
100%.
So
Yes.
quickly before we say something quickly, just to point out before most of these key guys got injured, I would like to point out the fact that you said that we were sustaining or retaining a lot of pressure from the opposition. That is not true. We
It
played
was a
against
particular match. It was just a
we,
particular match. It was just
we
a
played
particular match. I
against we
can't
played
remember the
against
match now.
we
Just a
played, we played
particular match.
against
No, it
Bologna.
was just a match. Point of correction, just a match.
Let me just finish
Just
now.
one match.
We played against. Let me finish now. Now you talk first. Let me finish. We played against Bologna, which is one of the top teams to face in Serie A. Even by the standings, this is they are still up there, top 6, top 7, and we did not have a single shot on target considered against Bologna. We played against Udinese, no single shot considered within the 18 was an outside shot towards the end of the game. We have played several games this season that we have completely dominated. Our lack of domination started. I would say it again. Our lack of domination started the moment Rabiot left our team. I agree with you that we have some players that are technically deficient. And one of them is part of the guys that you don't want to mention, which is your boy Rafael Leao, also
Who is that?
technically deficient.
Rafael.
So you're talking.
The one and only.
I made this point. I made this point on one of our earlier podcasts that we had. I said that I was concerned. I had concerns for the team when certain players come back and start playing for the team. And the reason that I have this concern is that if you want to play the kind of football that we play, we need players that are decent and are efficient on the ball, that can use the ball well. So now the problem that I have is that now we have a Santiago Jimenez that cannot retain the ball, that cannot use the ball. We have a Leao that is not tidy on the ball. We have a Fofana that's not tidy on the ball. We have a Alexis Salamakas that doesn't know what to do in the final third. So now we have a Batesagi that cannot also retain the pressure. You have already 5 players.
He doesn't have to.
Understand?
He doesn't have to. Anyway.
He's playing as in the wing back position, not as a defender. Everybody needs to play their part in that regard. So we have 5 players already. If you watch Inter Milan very well, Bastoni does ball retention, even as a CB. Even as a left-sided CB, Tomori cannot do it. Bastoni scores bodies. Bastoni puts in quality crosses, holds the ball, dribbles. What's like 5 or 6 players out of 11 that cannot do ball retention. So this is the reason. This is the major reason why the absence of people like Rabiot and Pulisic will be felt the most. Because the moment they are out, they are left with 6 players out of 11 that cannot hold the ball. So this is one of the things that you also need to put into analysis when you look at things like this. So the reason why I want CP back is because it will help us to reduce the amount of players that can actually use the ball and help us to retain the ball and regain possession. So when you analyze the game, look at it from the perspective of player skill set as well. Not every single player would have the same skill set. It is not possible. If you like, start from now to tomorrow. Even with Real Madrid, they have players that cannot hold the ball, that cannot retain the ball. But Valverde is not a very good average of the ball. He's not. Pass, make I run, make I shoot. That's how he plays his game. He's very good at it. Different players, different skill sets. So the purpose of having a team is to having other players that will complement those other guys and make them look good. Now we don't have them. This is where the problem is coming in. That the deficiencies of the other guys is now showing more and more. So when I talk about Rafael Leao, sometimes you don't understand where I am coming from. I'm coming from the perspective of this guy is not decent on the ball. He cannot stay on the ball. So if I'm going to have to play a front line of Leao and Santiago Jimenez, it's a big problem for me because both of them are not decent on the ball. And it's going to also already cause a deficiency for the team. But if Pulisic is in with Leao, We already have a player that can drop down for Leao to go forward, like what they were doing in preseason. In preseason, CP was dropping back for Leao to go forward because he's the one that can actually connect the midfield to the attack. So these deficiencies will show when these guys are not there. It's not because we cannot function without them. But the problem is that the kind of players that we have, we need to reduce that deficiency on the pitch. But if you don't have it, you don't have it. So try to look at it from that perspective. You cannot have a team of 10 players that are good on the ball. It's not going to happen. It's not possible. Different players, different characteristics. Somebody will never be a Bastoni. Somebody will never be a Bastoni. Take it or leave it. That's just the way it is. So these guys are important to us because of these things. Not just because of, their goals or their assists. It's how they help us to balance the team. Salamakas will never be the kind of guy that will give you 10 assists in one season. He's not that guy. Salamakas is the kind of guy that you need in your team to help you retain the ball, facilitate gameplay, maintain balance of the team in the team. Salamakas will hold that right wing. He will do the defending, he will do the attacking, he will run 100 minutes. But let him get into the final third and do something meaningful. He would not. And I don't get mad at him when he does it anymore. I don't. But that is who he is. So you cannot expect certain things. You cannot expect an battle performance from Salamakas, for example. But there are certain guys that we think that they are on that level, that we put on that level. That is why we talk about them. If Pulisic comes and does not convert a what's it called, a simple chance, we will talk about it. If Leao does, we'll talk about it because we expect them to be the ones to carry the team and be decisive. The other guys are there for balance in some aspect or in some regard. So stop thinking that, if Rabiot is not the back for Fofana, okay, but Fofana cannot hold the ball. He will not hold the ball tomorrow. He will not hold it next year. He will not hold it the year after that. This is not who he is. There are also something that Fofana does.
But sorry. I don't want us to dwell so much on this, but it's comms that I watch, and I'm still getting angry over those comms. It's comms that I watch is something different before you join the life. Let's move on.
Comms will be real life. You know what you call is a comms.
What do we think about the transfer strategy for Milan before the season started, knowing that they would have known these deficiencies coming up as they were trimming the squad? They would have been adding.
It was speaking on the transfer strategies and all that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I would say I think one of the key aspects that we didn't feel up and it's actually even affecting us. We must tell ourselves the truth. When my bash, Leao, whatever we want to say, that you can't have a team whereby I think for 7 straight games, I'm not sure Santiago Jimenez has scored. You should have honestly gotten a striker.
9 straight games in the league.
Sorry?
9 straight games in the league.
Sorry?
No goals.
9 straight games. Do you understand? In fact, I'm one of the person that's like, I will defend this guy. I can't. It's not making any sense, right? So, say what you like. Even if you want to switch to another formation, it's still going to be centered around getting. So that's why I'm a little bit cautious on, should we switch formation? Even though I still want Allegri to switch formation, but it's still going to be centered around your top man. What is he going to bring to the table? Trust me. If you bring a Giroud to this team with those crosses that Betsagi is putting there, it would connect to them. I don't know if you understand. Giroud will not, with the way we are playing, even with this current state of that we are saying, we are thinking, this is not there, this is not. Giroud will still be able to, if you play your mind back, there used to be times whereby you won't even see a goal coming. The ball just drops in the 18, and for some funny reasons, you just find yourself shouting goal.
Yeah, even against Atalanta, Bateshagi made some like 6 to 7 crosses that were pinpoint, and there was nobody.
Do you understand? So
there was nobody.
I feel like one of the things that I don't even have a problem with Nkuku signing and all that, but we should have also still gone out to get a prolific striker. If you would change any formation, whatever we are going to switch to, that guy's deficiency in this current set of players we have, it's always going to be a main issue. And I'm sure it's even giving Allegri himself headache. Just to speak to what the question Santiago was thinking. Honestly, I feel like that is the major thing that is driving us off balance or not. Like 9 straight matches, you can't get your striker to score. Trust me, something is definitely wrong. That's my own. So we should have actually gotten another player for him. Even a Jovic won't be having this conversation. There are times whereby You have Jovic in the 18. He will be scrambling for balls. Before you know, he has scored. I don't know if you understand. You can't say the same with. So the point is that even if you switch to a 4-4-2, that you want to just be crossing the ball, you won't see Jimenez there. Do you understand? If you switch to a 4-3-3, you need somebody to even be able to hold up play. Jimenez is not even good at that.
Yeah.
So what exactly are we supposed to? I don't know if you understand. So I've looked at all the options. His deficiency is affecting a lot of things. We should have honestly gotten another striker. That is one transfer strategy I feel like, looking at it now, we didn't get right. That is the truth.
Okay. Yeah, let me say something. So let me say something on that question that you asked, Santiago. So I think in terms of transfer strategy, I will talk about it as a whole, right? So right now we have 19 outfield players. 19 outfield players, right? Of which only 11 can take the pitch, which means that we would have 8 players on the bench. Technically, out of those 8 that will be on the bench, 2 of them are goalkeepers. So we really have like 6. While I would say that is not too bad, I would say it's also a little bit too slim, right? Take into consideration that injuries could happen.
Yeah, sure.
I understand that we don't have Champions League qualification, we don't have this, we don't have that, but I still think that 19 players is a little bit too slim, to be honest. For a team like Milan that does not have La Masia, like Barcelona does, they can just spring up one kid from the youth team and the boy is somewhere doing snake bite. I know. So we don't have that kind of wealth of talent from Primavera or from any youth level to even rely on, right? I think 19 is a little bit too slim, but also that's also down to the fault of Allegri. Because Allegri also aligned and agreed with the management to actually trim down the squad to 19 players, which he confirmed himself, right? Also, I think the strategy as regards the striker position.
Yeah? Sorry, when?
Well, yeah, he confirmed it earlier in the season that there was an alignment. He mostly talked about it like last week. There was an alignment with the management of the players, that number of players in the team. Also, there was also towards the end of the transfer market, Terence, sporting director, also confirmed that they had to change the whole strategy because Allegri communicated the kind of formation that he wanted to play, which was 3-5-2. If you notice, well, towards the end of this market, they started selling all our wingers. Towards the end of the market. Okafor left, Chikwueze left. It was because of the communication from Allegri. So there was no place for them in the formation that Allegri wanted to play, right? So the idea that this team that Allegri has is not Allegri's team is a lie. This is Allegri's team. There is no, this is the team that Allegri wants to have. This is the number of players that he would like to have. So now, going back again to his strategy, I think he might not have signed a striker. I think we could have at least done a better job by keeping one of Jovic or Tammy Abraham. Not for anything. Not for anything. At that point in time, to be honest, nobody would have known that Jimenez would become this much of a shit player, to be honest. Because even as at last season, yes, I will be fair. I'll be fair to everybody. As at last season, when he was coming in for us, he had at least quite a number of decent goals. Like he scored like 3 or 4 goals last season.
Yeah.
He had like 2 assists or something, which was not bad for. Exactly.
As in coming
I was even talking about when he came to Milan. When he came to Milan, he also scored a couple of goals. I remember the
2 goals.
I think his first 3 matches. I think his first
3 matches, he scored 2 goals.
Exactly. Exactly. So there was a little bit of hope, like, let's give him the chance to prove himself this season. So I think the mistake was not having a deputy striker, like another person that's actually a center forward that can come in for Jimenez in case he messes up whatsoever. So I think we are wrong in that regard, right, of not getting a striker. Because if you look at it, our front line we are very limited. We only have Pulisic and Jimenez. And then we signed Nkunku. Nkunku was even the last minute.
Valenciennes.
Nkunku was even the last minute signing.
Nkunku and Valenciennes.
Nkunku was even the last minute signing. Nkunku was the last minute signing. And if you remember,
that Valentine is a youth. Sorry, just to clarify, that Valentine is a youth player, correct?
Yes.
So even when Nkunku was signed, do you know what Allegri said? He said, "I do not know how to use him." He said, "I don't know how to use him yet."
Are you serious?
So he said, "I don't know how to use him yet. I would have to work with him to find out."
But honestly, it's very evident. It's very evident when you look at what is happening recently.
So why I'm not.
I don't even understand
why I'm not saying anything yet. Yeah, I have my reservations about Nkunku. right? Which I'm still going to come to yet. So I'm not going to come and say certain things. Like for example, Atekame, when he first started playing for us, he looked decent in the first couple of games. Then we threw him in against Napoli when we had the red card already and everything. He became G3. And ever since that time till now, he has not really been playing optimally like where you should from the beginning of the season, right?
True.
That's point
Yeah,
one.
sure, sure.
Dashari has not even kicked the ball yet this season. So we cannot even rate him. We cannot say anything about him, right? Nkuku has not even played a full 90 minutes in the league yet to even start with. He's a guy that has not even been fit. The only game that Nkuku started this season, he scored a bicycle kick. So because of that, I'm still giving the signings benefit of the doubt. Which other guy did we sign again? Modric.
Odo.
Nothing to say about Modric. Superb. Rabiot. Superb. Right? So what else did you
Sorry,
sign again?
They
sorry.
went.
There was one other
They
guy,
they
just the way we
winter.
have Akatemi. We signed
Odogu.
another guy on the other wing.
Odogu. Odogu is supposed to
The
be a backup.
winter.
The winter has been decent. The
Yeah.
times that he has also played as well. So for the transfer strategy, I would not say that it has been proven to be too bad. It's too early to call it a disaster. But there were some mistakes that were made. The mistake that was made was not having a backup CF. Very important. Also, the squad is actually too
Yeah.
slim. The squad is too slim. 19 players is too slim. Look at, and out of the 19, we only have only one CF in the whole team. Every other person is a winger that is converted into a striker in that formation. Even Nkuku is not a striker.
Striker, yes,
Nkuku
correct.
is
Yeah.
also not a striker.
He's not
Nkuku
a
has
striker,
played
no.
majorly on
Leao
the
is not a
wings,
striker.
or
CP
as
is
a
not a
second striker.
striker.
Leao is also not a
Yeah.
striker.
Then there's no.
No?
He's the only striker. He's not. He's
Jimenez
the
is
only
the
striker.
only
That's the
striker
truth.
that we
He's
had. And the funniest part was that when we set up this 3-5-2, we did not even have Jimenez in mind as a starter in that formation. The only striker that we had in the team, we did not even
Why would
have
you
him
say
in
that?
mind.
I'm confused.
No, the plan for Allegri was to
Why
play
would you say that?
Leao,
Okay.
No,
Leao was supposed
Leao
to be
Milan
starting.
Pulisic. Yes,
Milan wanted to
Yeah,
ship.
yeah, yeah.
Leao
They wanted to
Pulisic.
ship Jimenez out.
The plan was Leao Pulisic.
I don't know. I remember that we started with Leao Pulisic. Yeah,
Exactly.
Leao Pulisic. Yeah, we started the
The
season
plan
with both
was
of
the
them,
plan was
and it was
Leao
working
Pulisic,
well. Actually, it was working very well.
which is very funny. So we have a striker, only one in the team, and the aim is to even play without him. Right? So it means that even from the beginning of the season, he did not even have the confidence of the coach to start with. He didn't even have the confidence of the coach to start with.
Okay,
Because
so that is true. That is true
exactly.
because why were they even planning to ship him for Drobrick and
Exactly
all that? And he kept
for those.
insisting that no, he wants to.
So
That's
I
true.
think
That's true.
I think that
Okay, I agree with that totally. Yeah, I agree
the
with that.
major issues that we have is just two for me. The squad is too trim. Maybe we could have kept two more players out of those 11. Kafor or AZ or what's his other guy's name? Jovic would have been good for us in
Honestly,
attack.
Tammy would have just been fine. Tammy would just be
Exactly. Or
fine. Those
timing
other
would have
names
been
you
good
have
for us in
mentioned, they are the
attack,
same
correct?
thing.
So I
Tammy
think
is just fine.
just
Tammy
for
would have just
depth,
been fine.
for the purpose of depth, we needed at least two more players, right? So I think those are the major problem. If you go around talking about this and that, to be honest, we're not a Champions League team, right? So we will not have like a very robust squad. And nobody would have planned for this amount of injuries. But at the same time, we needed to have like a bit more players in terms of quantity. And then striker position was not addressed properly, to be honest. So that's just it for me, to be honest.
Yeah, thanks. Interesting conversations from London and Duke. Going forward, what do you think since the year is already coming to an end and a new transfer window will soon be coming? Aside the games that are coming, the games against Roma that is coming on Saturday, what do you think about the transfer window? Players that Milan should get in certain positions. What do you
Let me
think?
just say
Okay,
something.
so for me, I'll be very honest with you. I feel like with the current squad we have, it's fine. Sincerely, it's just integrating them properly. It's like I already said, there are some positions that I feel like we need to fill up, and positions like the safe center forward, it should be a priority. And honestly, I think we should just go all out and get a very top striker. We've been speaking about this striker role for more than 5, 6 years. We started Giroud conversation. Like how many we've been complaining about Giroud. We'll get Giroud till today. We are still on the striker role, right? So I guess that is supposed to be a priority. Then they can now take their time and start looking for how to get deputy of some other players. But let them just take their time and just get a proper prolific striker.
what names do you have for the proper prolific striker?
I honestly don't have names because I would say one or two things. Even players that I wasn't having so much expectations, they've joined and they're doing extremely very well, right? So one thing I would tell you for a fact is I can blame any other person in whatever. I can blame Liao, I can blame Pulisic, I can blame Fuliani, I can blame Gary Cardinal, Allegri. I don't see myself having to say anything against Iglitari. I won't. I feel like that's the guy for the job. So I feel like he's going to be able to get us the kind of profile if he's given the opportunity to do what he needs to do and sort things out. So I don't have any name in particular. I believe that if he goes out there to get somebody, will get us the best fit. I really trust that guy so much, especially at this point in time. So that's it.
Okay, Duke,
Okay.
over to you.
To quickly add,
What position and
I think
players
that
do you think Milan should get?
yeah. So for me, I would say two things. People are not talking about it now because we don't have a big problem there yet. We only have three center backs. We only have three center backs in a 3-5-2 formation. And we only have the Winter as the only experienced cover for that center back position, right?
We have Togo. We have Dogu.
And Tomori is injured.
Somebody is injured.
We have Dogu now. No, we still have
Tomori
Dogu
is
now. The guy
injured.
we bought. We bought him now. You guys said he's highly rated now.
Experienced cover for the defense. So I'm not talking about Milan from a Champions League perspective. I'm talking about Milan from a competing for Scudetto perspective. So you want to compete for the Scudetto, I think we need one more decent signing at the back, right? Because we also know the injury record of our players. Once that we have at the back, Tomori has never played the full season without getting injured. If I'm correct, since he joined Milan, he has played the full season without getting injured. This season already is injured now. We miss the Roma game. Even though they said it's not a big injury, just a swollen knee, right? But it's also missing the game regardless. So apart from the Winter, we don't have any other experienced center back that can come in. Not Odogu yet, so I wouldn't rate him or say anything about him, right? So for the center forward position, to be honest, is a no-brainer for us. If Santiago continues like this from now to January, to end of January, there is a particular name that is in my head that I know that we can afford if we go all out for him. Even the some Milan fans might not want to hear it, but I already see the vision and it's going to cook for is Mosaikene. Forget about
I didn't get that.
Mosaikene from Fiorentina. Forget about all this Vlahovic, blah blah blah. The kind of formation that we want to play, the way that we are playing, the kind of formation that we are playing right now, and the level that Kane has built himself up to. The Mosaikene that we are seeing now is not the same one as the one from Juventus of 2 seasons ago. Trust me, is a completely different player. Very aggressive, very, 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 very difficult to defend and play against as of now. If we can get Kane with a very good order play that can also help to beat our attack and everything, then we will be fine. For this season, for this Scudetto season, we'll be very fine. But players like Vlahovic, Jimenez, they will not give us the physicality and the ball holding ability or retention that we need in this formation. This formation that we have, this Milan formation that we are playing, trust me, if we had a Lukaku, as limited as Lukaku is, technically, or the way some people talk about it, we will cook with Lukaku. Because what you need is a player that can hold the ball, that can connect the attack, can also score goals when the time comes, that can transmit confidence to the rest of the forward line. So the only other player that we can go for now that I see that is within our reach is Kane. Just think about it, Santiago. All the other strikers that are not playing in this area, they are massively overpriced. Trust me, Votamadi at Newcastle went for over 70 million from just having one good season at Frankfurt, if I'm correct. Omar Mamouche went for almost 70 million from just one major, Stuttgart rather. Omar Mamouche went for almost over 70 million from just one good season. One good season that I know of in the Bundesliga, right? So there might be some strikers, but how many of them are proven, right? How many of them are proven even at the highest level? Most of them are just players that have had one good season and they are being priced at exorbitant prices. So the only one that I think that would do well for us, and I'm saying it because I know most people will not agree with it, but I can already see the vision, is Mosaikene. If you can get Kane, we will be very good to go. If provided Jimenez does not turn the corner.
Anyway, Leo says he wants him too, Sha.
What of the reports saying saying
And I don't want
Iglitari
two of
has
them to
already
be together. I
spoken
beg.
to Robert Lewandowski
Leao can leave now.
of Barcelona.
Leao can leave. Let Kane come. Leao can leave. Don't worry. If that's your problem.
No, I'm talking of Lewandowski. Like, what do you think
I'm
about the
talking to
reports
Lando.
of Iglitari discussing
God
with
is
Bro,
save, God,
Lewandowski?
God will save me. God will save me from you people's hand.
bro. See,
To be honest with you,
in as
Santiago,
much as in as
it's
much as
very dicey.
in as
See,
much as
so
Lewandowski
I,
is
I want I want to speak to, I want no I want to speak to this thing. See, I want to speak to this thing. I feel like if Lewandowski comes and it's a Modric, it's going to take us to a whole new level entirely. When I mean Modric, like this Modric, you understand the way Modric is. Even if he gives us 60 to 70% of what a Modric is coming, it's going to take us to a whole new level. Lewandowski might also come, and trust me, we might be crying every week. But I feel like it's going to be the other one than the later. It's very possible that he will come and he will take us to a whole new level, right? But if that's not the case, bros, then too, you also need to be very, very truthful to yourself. His salary is not going to be something that is going to come cheap. Forget his age. Lewandowski would not come and be collecting any cheap salary from us.
And
So
no,
you might now be stuck with somebody. I'm coming now. You might be stuck with him. Do you understand? You might be stuck with him with huge salary. Because I don't think Lewandowski is going to join us and be demanding for less than 2 to 3 years.
And that's why I said from reports, they said he has agreed he has agreed to half his salary.
If you have signed Lewandowski, because he has agreed to a salary cut, there is no way that we will sign Lewandowski without him agreeing to a salary cut. Even Modric plays for us right now, right? So it's not like as if we thought that we could afford Modric's salary before he came. Right? It's not like we thought we could afford Modric's salary before he came. I didn't get that.
Sorry, my network.
I said, should in case we sign Lewandowski at all, it will be because he agrees to a salary cut. That's the only way that we can even get Lewandowski. So that's the only way we can sign him. So I think Lewandowski's ability is not up for debate. He's one of the greatest strikers that the game has ever seen and probably would ever see, right? But the problem is that, let's look at it from this perspective. Modric might be 39 years old going on 40, or maybe just even 40 now. I think he's 40 years old now. But throughout his last 2 seasons, he did not even have injury concerns. Modric was not playing in Madrid because Madrid had obviously were trying to transition to a much more younger team, right? Not because he had fitness issues. So talent-wise, Modric, we know who Modric is. Talent-wise, we know who Lewandowski is. The problem is that for the last 2 seasons, Lewandowski has had fitness issues. He has had issues staying fit, being able to play a particular number of games. So now, Lewandowski coming to Milan might be us saying a striker that we might not be able to play more than half of our league games, right? Out of half of our league games, probably we'll spend half of those half recovering from the injury, trying to hit top form and other than everything again. So that is why I don't really support the Lewandowski signing. It's not because of his ability, it's because of his fitness issues in the last 2 seasons. He has been struggling to stay fit, which I think will be a big problem for us in case we bring him on board, right? So I would not really, when we wanted to sign Modric, if Landon remembered, I told him that I wanted the move, not because of anything, because I know that he has been fit. Last season he played about 40 games, but most of them was from the bench, so most people did not notice. But he was fit. He did not have fitness issues, but Lewandowski has this issue. So for me, I'm not really in support of the Lewandowski signing. Not because of ability, but because of fitness concerns, to be honest. I think Mosaikene will be a good addition to our team as of now. And if anybody has concerns with Kane playing with Leao can find a better club.
Yeah, so we're saying he's
Kane and Leao
dancing up and down in Milan. They are very good friends, so I just wanted to come and be done.
I know.
Don't mind. This is what hypocrisy does. This is what hypocrisy. Good night. I need to go.
You should have said you don't want him now. You see, you don't want him and Leao together.
I don't want him. I said I don't want him to come and be dancing in my Milan. I'm doing things. Streaming. That's what I said. I said I don't want him.
Briefly, let's just talk about the Roma game in like 3 to 5 minutes before we end the podcast today. What do we think about the Roma game, the scoreline, the outcome, and players that you know that will perform in that game, taking into concern that Estupinian and Adon Jashari are back to the squad. Landon
So you say Jasharian who is back to the squad?
and Estupinian.
Jasharian who is back to the squad?
Estupinian.
The way you sounded is as if Messi is back to the squad. Okay, so I'll be expecting a draw. I'll be expecting a draw because honestly, I'm even wondering who is going to be able to make any difference. I don't think CP is going to be coming back, right? So I also don't think Rabiot is coming back. So I'll just be expecting a draw at best. And so that's
Rabiot is coming. Rabiot is coming.
When you said Estupia, and I was like, oh, I wanted to quickly Google who is coming. Estupia, and I'm like, oh, okay, Estupia. It's in Gagbe. So it's okay, fine, but I'm just expecting a draw.
What do you think about the game?
To be honest,
yes.
To be honest, for one, I'm somebody that was really hoping that we will be in a better situation ahead of playing Gasperini, because I really want to slap Gasperini's team so much. So I'm really, really sad that we're in this situation. In this situation where we don't even know who's going to even play in attack for us against Roma.
Who's going to play exactly? So what
that bad?
Expect?
Is that bad as of now? The players that are tipped to start in attack is RLC and Nkunku in attack because Leao has a hip problem. Nunes has a knock. Pulisic is out.
To add there. Do you know that I'm missing RLC because of Fofana? Imagine me missing RLC because of Fofana.
Exactly. The way that game is, the way I see it, if we play with that lineup, we will be lucky to get a draw in that game. We'll be lucky to get a draw in that game. I don't see us not conceding
against Atalanta.
Yeah, but that's RLC.
Sorry? Yeah, it did well. But can it be so the problem is who will now appear? So the problem is the problem won't be with RLC because all of us know what his final balls used to be like. So who is he going to play? Is he going to be pairing with Jimenez? Jimenez is not going to play, Abi. I think he's injured now.
Jimenez is injured. Jimenez has a knock too.
Jimenez is even injured himself. Jesus Christ. It's going to be terrible that day.
So for me, because of the kind of team that we will be fielding against Roma, I'm sure Roma will score at least a goal in that game. And I don't see how Milan will score 2 goals with that kind of attack, right? So I'm leaning towards, I'm a Milan fan, but a part of me tells me that we'll be lucky to leave that game with a draw, to be honest.
Honestly, you are not far from the truth.
To be honest,
it's going to be if we get a draw. If we get a draw, it's a good one. And if we get a win, then
it's so bad. It's so bad that Pulisic is even pushing to even be on the bench against Roma. That's how bad it is. It's pushing to even be on the bench against Roma. That's how bad our attacking options are right now. It's so bad that Rabiot is pushing to be available for the Parma game after Roma. That's how bad our depth is right now. So even the guys are pushing themselves to be able to be available, to be able to help the team because the injury concerns is on a different level.
So to be honest with you,
it's a Roma win or a Roma draw.
Leao, I have so much to also say something. I have so much to say about Leao. So jokes apart, like I have a lot of complaints, but truth be told, you can see that from the last 2 matches. As much as I want to complain, you can see that there's some element of him not being fit. That's the honest truth. And so I needed to point that out. And I'm seeing that in a lot of our guys. I don't know, maybe it's our medical team I don't know. But it seems like there's fitness issue. And honestly, I don't even know this international break is even something that drives me crazy. I don't even understand I don't understand. Why can't we have international break after we have done everything? I've not been able to understand why we can't, like, seriously. Why can't we just play normal football and then when everybody is doing holiday, you guys do your international break? If those guys are injured, by the time we are resuming, but then they come back happy. That's it. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's all from both of us on that perspective of the Roma game.
Thanks so much for the conversations.
And thank you too.
Hopefully Milan gets a win against AS Roma despite injury concerns that we've had, and end October with a win. And as
Yeah,
the player comes,
luckily for us, the game against Roma is going to be the first game in November. So October has gone already.
okay, yeah. Today is already today is, today is the end of October. Yeah, hopefully the game against Roma starts a good run of games for the new month in November.
True. November. We need a win, honestly. We need a win to boost everybody's morale.
Yeah, and boost everybody's morale, from the coach to the players to those
Even
on
to
the
the
bench, and the fans also. Thanks so much, Landon Duke, for
Thank
your conversations and your contributions. And to all our viewers,
No problem.
this
Thank you.
is the AC Milan Fans Club Nigeria's Instagram and all other social media at AC Milan Fans Club
At AC
Nigeria, or
Milan.
ACM FCN. Thank you so much, guys. We'll meet next week, same time.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.